this week's video I'm doing the Ash Waste Nomads Chieftain with Venomcaster. Now, to save a bit of time, I have taken them out of the package, I've washed the resin and I've given it a undercoat. I did also assemble it, that kind of helped, as you can see here. Now, I've added a bit of cork to the bottom of the base. This is just to give it a bit of elevation and to define it between the rest of the Nomads. But I think I'm just going to jump straight into painting it and we'll see what I come up with. It's going to follow the same scheme as the rest of the Nomads, so let's do it. So I'm starting off with Gawthor Brown, doing a full base layer all across the cork. Then I'm moving up to a Mortarian Grime, which is a shade. And then I'm moving into a dry brush of Underhive Ash. All of these are Citadel colours, and this is part of a recipe that I found at my local GW. And as you can see, it's a really cool effect, and I've used it on all of my Nomads so far. Now, sometimes when filming these videos, I find it very important to completely block out the model with my own meat hook and give you an in-depth look, ooh, there it is there, an in-depth look at the massive vein that runs across the back of my hand. But then I decided to go on to the next detail. So whilst I was blocking it all out, it was Rhinox hide. I was just giving all of the drapes and the cloak a coat of Rhinox hide. And now moving on to the boots and the gloves, and I'm doing a 50-50 mix of Gawthor Brown and Deathworld Forest. Now, Deathworld Forest is one of my new favourite colours from Citadel. I've only recently discovered it, and it's just got so much versatility, and it's kind of one of the anchor colours for my Nomads, so I'm really enjoying it. I suppose one of the cool things about the Nomads colour scheme that I've landed on is that it's a really simple one. It's a lot of browns and tans, and it just works really well. It makes the model pop in the ways that I want it to pop, and then the red eyes that I'll eventually come onto quite soon really give that point of differentiation and really start to bring some detail to the mini. I'm now going on to Agrax Earthshade, and I'm just retouching up the Rhinox hide from earlier on. It's a really simple step, but it just adds that little bit of oomph to the recess shading and that sort of thing. I mean, Rhinox hide's dark to begin with, but it just gives that little extra special sauce. I'm now moving on to using Warp Lock Bronze. This is the colour, the metallic that I've chosen for most of the faceplates for the Nomads. Now, what I am doing is a Tabletop-Ready gang here. This isn't a pro painting session or anything like that. It's purely, Tabletop-Ready. That's what I'm trying to aim for here, and the results I'm getting are pretty nice. So I'm just trying to get as much of the bronze onto the right areas as I can, and then I'm going to move on to a new metallic. I'm then moving on to Leadbelcher for a few details. Leadbelcher and Warplock Bronze really contrast nicely together, and the only other metallic that I've got is the Retributor Armour, which I'll be moving on to in a minute, but that's for details. Now, these are for a tabletop-ready look, so for me, I'm not putting too much detail or effort into making it look amazing. I want it to look really good, but I just don't, I'm not putting in hours and hours and hours of work. Even though I actually quite like how this has all turned out for me. So, there we go. The end result is quite nice. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is the Retributor Armour. So I used the Retributor Armour on the ends of weapons and for some of the detail work. In my mind's eye or in my head canon, I feel that it's just a nice little differentiator for a more detailed or more technical bit of the weapon, using the gold as opposed to the bronze or the silver, or the Leadbelcher rather. I then move on to the canisters on his back, again going in with Leadbelcher and then finishing off with Retributor Armour. The Retributor Armour for the struts makes it just stand out that little bit more, gives another point of intrigue to the model, and overall I enjoy the effect. Again, these colours contrast really well, browns with golds with silvers. It just makes it feel quite a nice and interesting and intriguing model, whilst also being thematic to the Ash Wastes. This next part was a bit of an interesting one. I used Cantor Blue for the vials on the back, the vials that are dangling from his backpack. I don't know why I went with the blue, it doesn't really sort of match or meld into any of the other colourways, but I'm kind of glad that I did it because it's, again, just another point of intrigue, and it also differentiates what these vials are. Now, I did then go back and do the gold struts as I mentioned earlier, but yeah, I think the back of this model is quite an interesting look overall, and I like all the contrast that I've been able to achieve using just a small and limited palette. Once I finish these struts, I then move on to using Flayed One Flesh and Ushabti Bone on the bone horn areas and the wraps, so the bandages and that sort of thing that are all over the model. It just gives that another level of intrigue and another level of curiosity as to the, different materials available to these guys in the Ash Wastes. And then finally, I go on to pipes and tubing, using Gory Red from VGC. So let's have a look at him finished. So the Chieftain with the Venom Caster is looking pretty cool. I'm really happy with it, and I think that's realistically all that matters in this, because it's a tabletop ready model. It's not meant to be like a showcase or a display ready or anything like that. It just is what it is. Like, just look at the flasks, for example. The flasks and the cloth that holding the flasks looks horrendous. And I mean, yes, this is a zoomed in shot, and yes, the quality isn't that good. I should really consider getting a camera, but overall, just look at it. It's really cool. It really works as a model. So there we go. So there's something I need to tell you. Things have changed a little bit in my life, and yeah, I kind of need your guys' help. So basically, like, this is what I look like currently. Yeah, kind of sucks. Basically, I really need your help. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and that seems to be the unlock for my face to be back in these videos. I'm currently looking like this, and honestly, it's not a vibe. Seriously. Like, look at my face. I'm very unhappy. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more of it and you want to see me back to normal, then well, subscribe. Seriously, please. I really don't like being a frog. It absolutely sucks, and yeah, I'm struggling here, guys. So if you wouldn't mind awfully just subscribing, that'd be great. Thank you. I'm trying to get 1,000 subs by by my birthday, which is the 16th of July, but I doubt I'll get there by that time. Anyway, I've been Matt. There's something on screen now for you to click if you want to watch a playlist, and yeah, bye!